Welcome to the Boise State Game Pans Esports Arena, and you're watching our coverage of ECAC Collegiate Overwatch. Boise State is looking to pick up a win tonight against Louisville University. My name's Jacob Jem Mountain Palmer. Joining me is Brenner Berlat to call all of the action for you tonight. Brenner, this is a new frontier for Boise State. Not only are they entering a new tournament ground, which is traditionally more of an East Coast domain, they are going up against Louisville, which is a team we haven't necessarily seen, but I have to think that Louisville, you know, if you look at it on paper, Boise State and Louisville, about the roughly same size universities, but in terms of Overwatch, I don't know if you can really match the reputation Boise State has as defending Mountain West championships. Every game that they've played in other tournaments, especially NACE, have just tended to be 3-0 or 3-1. Very great performances. They're currently undefeated. What can a new team like Louisville do mentally-wise when they're going up a team like Boise State?
I mean, being a new team, they can definitely throw us a curveball if they don't have a lot of experience out in the open that we can try to scout them with. They might definitely, like I mentioned, throw a couple curveballs at us that Boise State might just not be prepared for. Like, they might have their very own King's Row strat like Boise State on the defense has that they're just not ready for. So we'll definitely have to see if Boise State's going to have that adaptability to come forward. And at the same time, we'll have to see if Louisville is able to keep up with the Boise State aggression.
Well, Boise State right now are going to be going up against Louisville. Certainly a very formidable lineup. We have so many great players. We have Plato, just such a dominant tank performance. We have great, we've seen Maxwell kind of flex between support and DPS. Just great players all around. All of those players in the opening lineup are going to be brought to you by Count. Count Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud protection, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Like I said, this is ECAC. It's a completely new tournament with a completely new standing. But as I was talking to you earlier, you are kind of thinking, Brenner, that even though it's a new tournament, we might see a lot of the same in terms of what maps we might be starting out on.
Yeah, it's definitely been kind of a wash and repeat for Boise State. They know their favorite maps, Lijiang Tower, Kings Row, Watch Point, Gibraltar. Pretty standard in just the collegiate scene that we've seen from a lot of teams for Overwatch. We've seen Umbani very rarely. We've wanted Havana a lot. I personally really would love to see Route 66 appear every once in a while. Just some variety in the maps to keep things interesting rather than the consistent of, all right, we're going to see this map, this team composition pretty consistent from a lot of college teams.
Well, let's take a look overall at what the Boise State Broncos are going to have to keep in mind to get their key to victory, and that is going to be Doc's keys to the game that we always go over before every single match. And we can also see Boise State has had quite a record, at least before we get into the match. They have been, like I said, completely undefeated, so I don't know how much they need Doc's keys to the game, but it's always good for a refresher. In Overwatch, that's never to take a fair fight. And what does that mean? Well, that means to take fights in unexpected places when the opposing team is unprepared. And don't forget to take advantage of that tempo. That's Doc's Keys to the Game, brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. All right, so the matchup, Boise State Broncos versus Louisville Cardinals. And in terms of regular sports, both these teams, you know, have a fairly well-known athletic program, but I don't know if Louisville is going to have quite as good, as well-known esports program, at least here at Boise State Esports. We are going to get ready to jump into the match at any time. Are there any other thoughts you have, Brenner, before we get into all the action?
Map variety. We want it. We need it.
Okay, so what do you want to see? First map, then.
First map, anything but Lijiang Tower, obviously. For control, ooh. Just throw it out to, like, something crazy that we haven't seen in, like, a really long time. I keep thinking of Assault maps because I'm like, oh, yeah, it's control. Oh, wait, no, that's Assault. Oh, and it's Assault. Ooh, good question. Oasis. I want to see Oasis.
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen Oasis. Well, I have a little bit of good news for you, Brenner. At least last Tuesday in Boise State's NACE matchup, they did not start on Lijiang Tower. They actually chose Nepal instead. So it's a little bit of variety, I suppose. So
something's better than nothing.
Lining. Yeah, something's better than nothing. although Kings Row was the second choice. So that seems to be the extreme constant for Overwatch, is just Kings Row is kind of the default. But that's one thing that the Broncos, you can't necessarily count them out on, is they are very good at those off-meta map choices and really kind of surprising the other team.
Yeah, and another thing we can point about the ECC here is that in this best-of-5 format, we're going to start with Control, head over to Escort, Assault, and if we ever get to a fourth match, it's going to be Hybrid, then Control once again. So going into Assault being the third game, which we very rarely see, it's going to be Hybrid a lot of the time. Assault, we have a lot of good variety pick. Mostly we go to Temple of Anumis. I'd love to see some Havana. Very rarely do we get that, but if we do, it's always a good time. A lot of snipering action from both sides on both points.
Sorry, we just had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we will trudge on. But we were just talking, Brenner, about some of the off-meta map choices at Boise State, and you were bringing up Havana, but Boise State, you know, Havana could be interesting. I actually want to see Havana, because that's the one map when Boise State did play it. The other team held them to spawn the whole time. Boise State could not step outside the doors, so maybe we do need a little bit of a map shakeup right now, because what we're seeing currently with just all these meta map picks, Boise State with these 3-0 victories, I want to see something competitive.
Yeah, it would definitely be a great showing for Boise State to throw up a different map just to put them on their back foot and maybe actually have a solid competition. And we're going to go right into Control on Lijiang Tower. Broken record as it is, we are going to see a little bit of a different team comp from both sides, as Boise State is sticking to that Symmetra, but they're not bringing the Bastion. But it looks like on the side of Louisville, they're going to bring the Bastion, but go with an Orisa and Mercy to just go all in for that teleporter play, as it's going to be both teleporters, but it looks like Louisville's going to stay up top, as they're just a little bit behind Boise State, and we're going to see right away Kel jump up and knock them all down.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to pay for that, not able to establish themselves on point, especially since Bastion's kind of one of those heroes that you really kind of want to set up and just kind of bear down on. And if Bastion can't necessarily set himself up in the right position, it's going to be a lot harder for him. He does manage to pick up one for Boise State, though. So Boise State, even though they're claiming the point, Louisville does have a slight advantage on them, but now Boise State is going to respawn, and really isn't going to matter too much, as they are making so much space that even if Louisville gets a pick here or a pick there, they aren't necessarily pushing on to point.
Yeah, Boise State even went for the rotation right here as Louisville was rotating on the point, and now Louisville actually manages to cap the point and get their amplification matrix down to try to deny this Boise State push to get back on the point. But it looks like Frost and Gob are going to be able to pick off the Mercy and Symmetra as the wall comes in for Boise State, as well as their own amplification matrix, with Bastion popping out his own tank form, staying in that mortality field to get him a little bit more damage, but he's going to end up getting taken out by Gob. And Boise State almost gets the team wipe, very close, but that Diva is going to get stalled out.
The thing that Louisville is going to have to watch out for, especially during this next engagement, is going to be that Primal Rage that Kel has, especially if they position themselves at the wrong point. Both the threat of that Primal Rage and the boops from a large bagel, I don't know if Louisville is definitely going to want to take a route close to that edge of the map there. But Gob is just going to take any consideration that they had out entirely, as he's going to pick up a double. Kel is going to follow that up with a Primal Rage, able to take out Menace, and Orisa is also taken out, as well as the Bastion. And that's basically all 6 members. It's not going to be a team wipe, since it wasn't quite fast enough with Boise State. Very clean engagement.
Yeah, it's looking like this might be a Havana game, like you mentioned, where they just push right into Louisville's spawn, as they have yet to pass kind of that wall of shops that is Lijiang Tower for this map. And it looks like they're going to go for a far left push underneath and even use Orisa's bongo for that power amp. Gob's even waiting to just dive right in as the Doom with his meteor. So this could be quite devastating for Louisville with these ults on the side of Boise State.
State is going to use one of those ults, use the shatter, huge shatter onto Louisville. They throw down the immortality field, try to keep themselves alive. They do have two ultimates. Meteor Strike is also going to be used by Gob, as well as the barrier coming out from Frost. Kellen Plato picking up 2 apiece. That's going to be 4, make it a team wipe for Boise State. They are not going to let any sort of momentum get in their way.
Boise State definitely proving why it is the Mountain West champion right now. Oh, showing this dominating force on this first control map. This poor Mercy tried to even go for the point touch, and it looks like one of their members was able to get on it. This Diva not able to make it through the window, and is even going to throw down her Diva bomb, but it's easily going to be line of sighted by Boise State and completely dodged as the amplification matrix coming out from Sean. But with all the members just trickling in, getting picked apart, Boise State takes round 1 of this best-of-3 control.
This one thing I'm a little bit concerned in watching Louisville is how long it took them to get that Symmetraport and Teleport going online in the first place. Just makes me wonder just a little bit about just overall skill, overall cleanliness in their rotations, just how fast they are in playing. Boise State can be such a fast team that it can be hard to play against them. Okay, I've been waiting to see a Hog all semester here, but semester hasn't really gone that long, but I've been waiting to see him nonetheless. It's the first time we're seeing him by Plato, and definitely on the Garden map, he might be able to see some very sneaky hooks and trying to get to those environmentals.
Yeah, we also see Frost on the Sombra with Louisville changing up a whole one person on their comp with Sato going the McCree, and instantly a large vehicle is going to get a great boop on that Orisa. So Louisville's off to a terrible start, losing their main tank right off the bat. And as you mentioned, Plato on that Roadhog is going to be able to take out Sato on the McCree. Looks like Louisville's just going to have to go for the reset here as Diva loses her mech.
Well, that is one of the most depressing starts that I have ever seen. Just starting right out with an environmental, again off the edge. That's not even caused by Boise State. This is what I'm worried about Louisville here. Is that I'm just worried that we might see Boise State just pull over them. They're not even aware right now of Frost, who's more than content to do some scouting, is going to try to get the hack, and the hook is going to take Menace right off the edge here. Boise State is just having way too much fun here, knocking Louisville right off the edge. There's another one. Almost all of their eliminations have been environmentals, Brenner.
It's quite a sight to see, especially in a comp match of all things. You think we'd be playing quick play right now. I'm just waiting to see the Pharmacy come out and just go full boop squad right now. Yeah. Where's the Wrecking Ball?
It feels like all semester with Boise State, it has just been a quick play meta, basically. Boise State has had that opportunity to just have fun, not choose the most meta picks, but just ones that they think that they can have the most fun. We look at Gob here just going effortlessly right into Menace. Boise State is going to flank Louisville from the other angle, as well as Whole Hog is going to take out Orisa. This is just a complete slaughter from the Broncos right now. They're going to be able to get all 6 members of Louisville. Not enough for a team wipe, but again, it's just they're staggering them. They're dragging them off the edge of the map. Can Louisville get their footing? What does Louisville have to do to get their footing?
Well, they just changed up their squad once again, losing that ult percentage from the McCree. So now they swapped over to the Pharmacy, and we did see Menace even swap over a bit earlier to the Soldier, but it seems that has not been paying off, as once again he has been eliminated by Plato. But finally Seto's able to get probably the first elimination for his team by taking out Gob. And it looks like Louisville's finally getting things back rolling, even as they get 4-man EMP'd by Frost, but Frost does get taken out, and Kell with his own Diva Bomb is going to be able to take out the Bongo and Immortality Field as Plato gets another environmental elimination on this Roadhog. Seems they were not prepared for this Roadhog.
No, they definitely weren't. And Chosen right here on this Baptiste is almost taking out the Pharmacy all by himself, as the Diva Bomb is going to go right on to point. Bagel, what were you doing there? Where were you even positioned? He's the only one to get taken out by that Diva Bomb. His amplification matrix thrown down by Chosen. Boise State just continuing on, just 100-0. It's going to be one of those matches, isn't it?
Maybe they're just having a rough warm-up. They got to hold out some hope for Louisville right now, as they have lost this first match in a best-of-5 right now, but hopefully it does not become a 3-0 situation. We will have to wait and see as we head over to Escort.
And as we are ready to enter into this, into Escort, what map would you choose? Is there anyone that you can confidently say that Boise State is the most vulnerable in?
I would hope to say Havana, just because we haven't seen a ton of strong sniping play. We've seen it on Temple of Anubis a little bit, but that's usually the Ash that ends up dropping down onto point and helping defend it. So it is definitely something I'd like to see more from the side of Boise State, and maybe that would help Louisville, give them more space to try to hold back the Boise State aggression. Even with their pharmacy, that would allow her to rain a lot more rockets down onto the point. My personal love of Route 66 would be fantastic. No one in the league ever plays it, so I would love to see it. Junkertown would also be really interesting too, as we've seen that a lot in the Overwatch main league. A lot of people really enjoy that Junkertown because they either hold you at spawn or it's just a trench fight through the mud, pushing it through all the way. And then once you get to that final point, it's pretty rough. So that would definitely give us a lot to talk about if we did go to some of those map varieties that we hope to see, rather than wash, rinse, repeat of Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Well, we'll just have to see what is chosen. We're going to take a quick break and be back with Junkertown, actually, which is going to be our next pick. So stay tuned. I know Brenner's going to be happy, and I'm sure you're going to be happy. Well, hopefully we can see a little bit of a closer match. We'll just have to see if Louisville can gain their footing right after this break, so please stay tuned.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We're currently watching Boise State have their first match in the ECAC Overwatch tournament. They are going up against Louisville. The Broncos versus the Cardinals. And right now the Broncos, I don't know if I have seen a more disrespectful opening, Brenner. I'm still Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. Call the action. Boise State, basically, they chose every hero that you could probably get an environmental with, and then just 90% of their eliminations were environmentals the last match. So Boise State just seems to be having way too much fun. We started out on kind of the meta pick, which is Lijon Tower, or at least what we've been used to here at Boise State Esports. I don't know if I phrase it as meta pick, but what has been the general pattern. But now we have a little bit of variety. Junkertown as chosen by Louisville. And you were talking up this map a lot before we went to break, Brenner.
Yeah, because it's variety. We are very tired of seeing Watchpoint Gibraltar, as Boise State has a very dominating performance on that map, whether it's attacking or defending. They have their strat set, and so far they've been able to beat a lot of the teams they have come up against on that map. So going over to something like Junkertown that we have simply just not seen so far this school semester so far is going to be really interesting. That possibly might be Louisville's strong suit and might throw Boise State off their game.
Well, we'll have to see. At least on Junkertown, they don't have to worry environmentals like they did on Lijon.
Unless somehow Boise State's push them off to the right side of spawn right at the beginning, and it's just a cluster. We'll have to wait and see.
They'll chain 3 CCs together to push Louisville just gradually closer and closer to the edge. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the move that the Broncos are in. But right now, maybe to bring them back down to earth, we've got Doc's keys to the game before we jump in to this match, and that's to never take a fair fight in Overwatch. That means to take fights in unexpected places when the team is unprepared and take advantage of that tempo, which Boise State was basically all tempo last round, so I think they've got that pretty down pat. Doc's keys to the game brought to us by Drop In Gaming. Drop In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Let's get into the second map of this match, the Broncos versus the Cardinals, as we head into Junkertown to see if the Broncos can continue their very dominant performance. Like you said, Brenner, this tends to be a map where you either get held in spawn or it's a knockdown, drag him out, fight to the end, and certainly I hope we see the latter.
Yeah, and I'm already enjoying the picks for both sides. As you mentioned, we're going to see the return of the Roadhog as Boise State's going to swap up the roles completely. Now with Asu, a new face that we know and love, turning to the show, and a Widow on both sides, with Louisville now bringing their own Roadhog and a Zen. This is a lot of picks that we don't traditionally see, so we'll see if they work in this team comps, with Boise State bringing both snipers of the Hanzo and the Widow, and immediately we're going to see Chosen on that Widow show that he is the better right off the bat, even having the pocket mercy for himself, as Louisville's kind of sticking in spawn right now.
Yeah, and if you'd for those who don't notice or haven't joined us for a match before, this isn't just off-meta hero picks. This is off-meta role picks for Boise State. Plato, who's normally a tank, is in support. They've let Frost and Asu grab 2 off tanks. I mean, this is just a complete clown show, but not a clown show for Chosen. He is on point with this Widowmaker. There's one from Snap Gaming onto Plato. Right now, Boise State is just picking them off one at a time as they trickle out of the spawn, which this is Overwatch. This is Overwatch 101. Don't try to engage the other team one at a time.
Yeah, sadly we don't have that type of competition like in Siege where you can just one-shot, headshot. This is Overwatch. It's about the life bars. Yes, you were playing Widow, so you could win those 1v1s, but the team play is coming in as Louisville's finally getting that team push that you want to see from them, able to finally take that first building, hopefully. But we're already seeing some back and forth trades between these two teams as the Primal Rage has popped for the Louisville tank and going in on the supports of Boise State. And it looks like Frost is going to try to go around the side and take out some possible heals as he's going to get his own full hog up, but he's not able to pop it, finally getting taken out. It looks like Louisville's bringing it together and going to try to push to that first checkpoint.
Yeah, this is a great performance from Louisville so far, and deep bomb is only going to be able to take out that immortality field. I don't know if it was really judicious for HD to use it at the time. Instead, that's just going to put more of a stagger onto Boise State. And all they really are going to have is that whole hog for this next engagement. Louisville is pushing very close up to the first checkpoint. The good news is anything that the Boise State wants to use in terms of ultimates or combos, they have their negate necessarily with that transcendence. That's going to be used by Sean right now, but after two members of Louisville are already picked off. Now they do manage to even it up by taking out Kel. Both teams are about 4 right now. Plato uses that coalescence, is going to take out 2 with it, and then uses damage orb. It's just going to face off against the Roadhog and win that with some help from the other supports, with the other support from the Broncos. And Louisville's push gets stopped right before that checkpoint.
So it looks like both teams have given up on the snipers as they thought they were going to get that checkpoint, but stopped right at the 3-meter marks. And it seems like this is going to come down to the Zens, because so far Sean for the Louisville has been actually doing very well, getting multiple eliminations as a Zenyatta no less. And same with Plato on that Moira. We saw him just get a triple with that coalescence as well. So it seems the supports are definitely the people to watch so far, even though Boise State is swapping up their roles and they are the traditional tank players. They can still do the damage, and they know how to play with their team as they've been playing together for so long. As we're going to see the Roadhog 1v1 real quick, and even the ult cancel from Frostbite is going to get taken out by Snap Gaming as the Diva Bomb comes out from Maceo, and he's able to pick up Sato, and Plato's able to take out Sean with Gob picking up Menace, and the Snap Gaming able to take out Plato with the Baptiste taking out Gob. Chosen's going into the 1v1 with the Roadhog as the Pulse Bomb comes out from Kel onto the Winston. It seems it's the last 2 DPS versus there's Roadhog, and he's just going to be able to run away. Hey, healing up the best he can, and it seems Louisville's just going to have to regroup and go for that team push as Boise State only has the whole Hog and Blade to defend with.
Well, Louisville has to at least touch that payload to keep this round going. They're going to try to charge toward it. They do manage, but they use the whole Hog to push them right off, and that is going to end it for this round. Whole Hog keeps Louisville away from that payload, and that is it. That's really got a bite for Louisville. I like how they were definitely trying with their strategy. They had a bunch of ults. They used them all at the same time, but Boise State is a team with real staying power this semester. I mean, they're a team that even if you get 2 picks on them, their players have been so confident and just so, I don't know, just strutting their stuff that you'll see 2 players just keep on point even if they're 2 down and manage to change the whole engagement around and get 4 or 5 picks right onto the other team. So it's one of a thing of, unless you see kind of a team wipe against Boise State, you can't count them out.
Yeah, Boise State definitely has that 1v1 skill that you want to see from a high-ranked team such as themselves. And as I mentioned in Junkertown, you either hold them at spawn or you're going to trudge through. That second point usually goes pretty quick from personal experience, and then that third point is also the trudge. So Junkertown has so far lived up to its name of they're going to hold you at spawn, so we're going to see if Boise State's just going to roll over them as they've done in the past, as we're seeing a new face on the side of Louisville bringing in that Sigma, same with the Torb. Something we haven't seen from Boise State so far, as they're going to bring in Frost now on the Wrecking Ball, Asu on that Hog. So it seems tonight is your night for Hog, Jim.
I do like that, at least. I wish it was under slightly different circumstances where Boise State isn't so confident in their abilities that they just choose Hog just for the heck of it, but they are going to go. And I don't know if I necessarily... I don't know if I'm necessarily too confident in the strategy from Louisville, especially since Frost is more than happy to just go in with a flank from this Wrecking Ball and take them all out, knock them off of that pedestal as Menace and Baptiste are all squares taken out. Menace is going to swap onto the Widowmaker, so it's going to try to get some picks onto Boise State. The vantage point of that is vantage points above the first checkpoint. Ross and Asu are picking up some team members as well, taking out the tanks for Louisville. Boise State, this could be a very quick round indeed if they remember to stay on the payload first. They can't have too much fun where they're pushing up too much and forget to push the payload.
Yeah, Boise State definitely is not going to get stuck at their spawn with Louisville just getting kind of trickled taken out by Chosen on this Widow, who's dealing as much damage as he can as they go for the rotations. And it looks like they're just going to trickle onto Car as even Plato's managed to get the elimination onto the tank, no less, of that Wrecking Ball. I'm surprised Boise State didn't even go for the environmental kill here as they're keeping one member on Cart. Definitely going to pull this game out unless they're going to try to throw 3 members on the cart to speed this up. We're going to be here a while.
Sleep Dart onto the Diva, followed by the hook. Boise State is just brutal right now. You see, Louisville actually might have just had a disconnection, actually, so Boise State is just going to be more than content to just push on to this next point. It's actually contested right now. Menace and Snap Gaming are making a go at it, being able to take out Gob and Plato, so with both supports gone, Boise State, I was going to say they might be hampered a little bit, but Cal was just more than happy to just pop up the tactical visor and just stop anyone else from getting even near that payload. That's going to be it for the second game. Boise State taking that one again with a very dominant performance. And this is quite a statement to enter the ECAC, with Boise State showing why they are one of the most competitive teams. So overall, we're going to head into the next match. You know, tonight, okay, I will say, tonight has already proven to be kind of a very landslide-ish map. So in the spirit of that, we're going to go to Assault next, and just the map, the game mode that can just kind of turn into a landslide. Louisville, they had an off-meta pick with Junkertown. We really haven't seen anything other than Temple of Anubis. So what are your predictions?
If not Hanamura, as we mentioned prior, Volsky Industries, keep it vanilla, keep it with the base maps that came with the game, and something that's off meta. You know, maybe that's Louisville's just comfort, even though they have been rolled over so far. It has definitely just been an issue for them so far of just not being able to match Boise State's competitive skill so far, I would say. And this has definitely been a quick play matchup for Boise State so far, as in that final matchup on Junkertown on the attack, we even saw the Torb hammer kill. That was unstated, but it did happen at the cart. So I think this has gone full quick play at the moment.
Yeah.
So if we're going full quick play, why not we just bring back the Collegiate Genji League? That's what I would love to see.
Hey,
let's go back to old Overwatch.
If we're going completely non-competitive, let's even go off-meta of off-meta and just choose Paris. Let's choose the banned one that nobody likes and just...
Everyone loves Paris.
Everyone.
If you ever go into quick play, everyone loves Paris. They rave about it in chat. They definitely don't say any bad words about Paris. It's fantastic. So why not just go full off-meta no matter what?
I know. Just Paris, all Genji League. You know, frankly, we should start our own tournament here, Brenner. But we're just going to have to wait until this next break to see how Boise State does. Will they close it out with a 3-0 victory? We'll find out after this break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of Boise State's first game in the ECAC Overwatch tournament. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. We are covering all of the action for you tonight as Boise State is still 2-0 in this overall match, is looking to be closing it out on Assault. So we are going to see if Boise State can close it out basically undefeated. They've been undefeated in basically every other tournament, so wouldn't necessarily surprise me. But of course, one of the interesting things that we have seen here, Brenner, is that going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to succeed as a team, which Boise State, they so effortlessly do, you're going to want to contact organizations like Esports Tower. You can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, we were talking about off meta map picks because apparently this entire match has just been throwing caution to the wind. You excuse me, what was it? We were just suggesting all sorts of different types of maps that aren't normally played. I would be surprised if it's a Temple of Anubis because that's just what's always chosen. It's usually a quick end if Boise State finds themselves on that match. But what was your prediction again before we left for break, Brenner?
Prediction for a CERN map? Ooh. There's a difference between what I think the map will be, which is Temple of Anubis, versus what I want it to be, which is quite literally anything else. We have the Havana, or not Havana, we have the Volskaya pick, we have the Paris pick, we have the, brain just farted real bad.
Hanamura.
Hanamura, thank you. I was just like,
it's going to be Temple of Anubis. I personally would have wanted to see Paris because that's just how the general overall mood of the night is going. So Boise State isn't going to be able to flex their Paris skills. I know everyone is extremely disappointed in not being able to see that. But instead, we are going to see Temple of Anubis. Can be a very hard map to take, especially. I don't know if Boise State, they've just been in kind of a mood. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go like a full Junkrat composition and just lob bombs at Louisville because I don't. Do you have any predictions? Like, because Boise State is just having fun right now. They are not going meta in any specific way. They are doing the heroes that they just think they can have the most fun with. So you're calling the world's your oyster in compositions. What do you want to see?
Well, we've already seen our players go to kind of their off-meta roles other than Chosen. And we saw Asu sub in as the tank when he's normally a healer. We saw Gob on the heals now. We saw just Boise State throw everything to the wind. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw players that we rarely see ourselves just come in and then play just total off-meta picks that they might be even out of their league compared to the Louisville rank. So they could do pretty much anything to their heart's content. I would love to see, the return of like Symmetra try to be the support that she once was meant to be, or something like Asu now on the Reaper and Chosen now tanking. Same with Frost sticking to that Wrecking Ball.
Oh, and Nerdy has decided to join the party as a DPS, which is one of the roles that we've never really seen Nerdy in. They're normally either mainly support, or if they're not support, they're on the Diva in an off-tank role. So we're going to see how Nerdy's DPS skills are. Boise State is just completely
throwing caution to the wind.
Quick play mentality, like you said.
Yeah, this is the definition of a quick play match. Louisville's going to try their heart out, but it seems that this has simply just been the difference of skill ranking. This is essentially just a bronze versus a masters team, if not grandmaster at this point, as Louisville's just going to stay in their spawn and just having to do DPS from their spawn.
Member.
As a whole, one member that is the Baptiste gets onto point, or maybe even Sato on that. It was Sato on that Tracer who just managed to teleport away in time. As Plato and Ace who are just going to kill him coming out of spawn.
Please, for my sake, here. No, okay. Well, the Zen finally gets taken out. Asu, I thought I was going to pay. He's only down to 25 now, gets picked off by the Tracer. And I don't know if Tracer's just going to try a flank off to the left as the Reinhardt just trickles in again. Just gets hit with the sleep. This is why you don't go in one at a time. But now Louisville well, they have 3 members together right now. They do manage to get it on the point, and halfway to the first tick, Frost takes them out with a double. They're almost there, though. They picked up 1 tick. Wow.
Yeah,
great
it was
for
both
them.
healers and both tanks, but immediately we're going to see both healers and both tanks get eliminated, as now we're going to see Menace go over to the Mei. So maybe they're going to just try to go pure brawl comp, kind of traditional Overwatch plus the Baptiste almost.
I mean, when Boise State has been kind of as careless as they have, just pushing right up to the point, then a Mei wall to punish that. I don't necessarily disagree with that idea, but right now with this Primal Rage, you're just chasing this poor Lucio. Is going to do one final slap to the face to take him out. Asu also picking up Reinhardt, and Zarya also taken out. Louisville just kind of needs to gather themselves. At this point, it's just a matter of just getting 1 tick at a time. They still have 2 minutes. They at least have gotten part way there. So we'll see how they do. But right now, Asu taking out Menace. But Plato was also eliminated as well. Antinate going on to 2 members. Langdom taken out, and Jota very low on health, also eliminated. Louisville is going to make a swap onto that soldier. Right now, a nano boost is going to be used by Cal. Boise State just goes right up to point again and is just keeping them 1 at a time.
Yeah, I'm surprised Louisville actually swapped out their healer, who was Sean prior on that Zenyatta. He was getting multiple eliminations for his team on Junkertown, even though they did not get to the first point. I'm surprised they swapped him out because he was actually performing very well. So now swapping back to their initial roster from Lijiang Tower, they're just getting absolutely rolled over and not making any progress whatsoever. They did get the first tick, and now we're just seeing the Boise State having so much fun with their ults. The Shatter came out, but no value came from it, as Boise State's just having a good time in the back line.
Yeah, 2 members are going to get hit with that anti-name. Now look at Menace here taking out Asu. And then, look at this from Louisville. They have taken out half the members of Boise State. This is their opportunity to push onto the point. They are going to get onto point and at least get 1 more tick. Frost is trying to fight back, but Kell is also taken out. Boise State is now going to contest on the point. Can Louisville at least get 1 point here? They're going to throw out the minefield. Boise State, laying them very low on health, is going to be taken out by those mines. Frost getting a double with them. Is just more than happy to bleed the health away from Louisville, as Reinhardt is also taken out. Frost is on fire, and Louisville is only going to get about halfway, 1/3 of the way actually, to that final tick. They're only going to have to be content with 2 ticks for this round.
Frost, new main tank for Boise State right here. Same with Asu on the DPS. Is this the Boise State's new roster, just pure quick play meta?
I don't know. Maybe for the ECAC, that's going to be the case, but we'll just have to see. Boise State now just needing 1 final tick. They don't even have to get 3 ticks. They just have to get past 78.3%. So now Louisville has to do a full hold against the Broncos. So definitely a very tall order, especially how the Broncos have just been more than content to just go into a quick play mentality, completely bowling over Louisville. And this is their chance to end it right here, right now, probably with just 1 push.
I'd be surprised if it took more than 1 simple team fight. Not even a team fight, just constant 1v1s that Boise State wins, having just the better skill showing so far. As we're seeing Boise State bring out kind of their own brawl comp, kind of traditional from Beckamati, where we see Nerdy on the Mei, Frost on the Diva, Asu back on that Reaper, Chosen on the Rhine, Kel and Plato on those support roles. Louisville going back to what we kind of saw on Lijiang Tower, just swapping out that Symmetra for the Mei this time around. Definitely going for the hold far back stall with kind of throw everything into Bastion so when he dies, they just collapse. They don't really have that DPS to support for the long term, because once Bastion goes down and that Mercy's not able to get the solo res off, Louisville won't look good, but Plato on that Lucio is going to speed them right onto that Bastion, so I do not see things ending well for Louisville as we head into the start of this final match.
Boise State passes through. The first choke is going to head off to the left here. Louisville is aware of that strat. I don't necessarily like where that Mercy was positioned, though, in front of the Bastion. Boise State now is just going to do a speed boost right in, is just going to tear right through that Bastion with help from Asu. Frost is actually going to be the one to get the final hit. Look at the BAP taking out Asu. We also heard a res try to be brought through by Louisville's Mercy, but was taken out by Frost before that could go through. Chosen also eliminating Menace. Boise State quite effortlessly pushing on to the first point. Now the remaining members of Louisville just have to go into desperation mentality. Just try to get to the point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a swap onto the Wrecking Ball here just to try to get that speed. Well,
they're not going to make it.
No.
Not even a chance.
A Roadhog is a lot slower than a Wrecking Ball.
I think it was just for you, just for you. He knew you wanted the Roadhog, so he's like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go with that.
Well, Boise State winning that in a 3-0 victory. Bowling over Louisville is going to be heading into this tournament, making quite a statement. We didn't really even see anyone necessarily doing their meta job. It was just Boise State just having fun. So with a 3-0 victory, Boise State wins that one. But if you have seen Boise State Esports and want to join, if you have seen as much fun as the players are having and want to join, then we want to remind you that Boise State Esports is always looking for talents, players, production, and broadcast talent. Top talents, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Well, Brenner, I don't know what necessarily there is to say that we haven't already said about that match. A very dominant performance for the Broncos, completely sweeping that match and moving on with the win.
Yeah, it's hard to say pretty much anything that we haven't touched on already. Like, that was a quick play match. It's hard to be like, hey, here's the top 5 plays, because nothing happened. It was just Boise State being a dominating force. We can't say here's the top player of the game because they all just dominated. There wasn't someone that stood out there like, hey, in this team fight where they lost, they held on. No, they never lost a team fight. And if they kind of lost a team fight, it was just them rotating around and just attacking the enemy team from behind. So all in all, just a straight up dominating performance from Boise State in Overwatch that we've come to know and love here.
Alrighty, that is going to do it for this match. We do have as a formality, though, the ICCU player of the game normally. So this is a challenge. If you had to pick out anybody, who would you pick?
Probably one of the tank players, just because they played the entire match. Or even Chosen on the DPS, just with how consistent he was, eliminating them in all of the rotations and winning his consistent 1v1s. I would also really, really want to give it to Kel because he got the Torb hammer kill on Junkertown. That was just peak quick play meta that we know and love so much. Like, that's what I want to see in our Genji League whenever we bring that back, of just, he got the Torb kill, he's quick play player. He's player of the game. He got it.
Genji League to the Hammer League is what you're basically saying.
Oh, 100%. We need the Hammer League. Everyone wants to see that. Just a bunch of Swedish dwarfs running around. So it'd be great.
Well, it is, in fact, looks like it is going to be Plato, actually. A little bit of a fake out there with that health bar, but Plato is going to be named player of the game. This was kind of the one match in which Boise State did play it by the meta because they just didn't know how Louisville would answer. And it really is no surprise just on these kind of choices. Plato, just no matter what he picks, is just kind of dominant.
Yeah, going through these plays as well of just the DPS as well as our own Winston, which was Kel in that prior match, just having a ton of fun in the back line, eliminating multiple members in these 1v1s. Same with the large bagel on Lijiang Tower. He is definitely player of the game in that match, getting so many eliminations with the Lucio from environmental kills. Same with that Roadhog. It was just a very interesting time. We're going to see this awesome play kill from the double kill and the coalescence to the triple onto this poor Roadhog who was just trying to heal the whole time. It was, to say it was a dominating performance was an understatement.
Well, that is the ICCU Play of the Game, brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful. Just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success, Play-Doh is your Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game. We are not done for tonight. We have another Overwatch match right after this one against Nevada, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that one. But for now, we are going to leave with the top 5 plays of this game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them at Twitch at iGuardGaming.com. And like we said, Boise State Esports always looking for new talent in Overwatch, League of Legends, Rocket League, Valorant, and production. And of course, as you suggested, Brenner, I think this would probably be a good time to bring up some of the other games that Boise State is going to be broadcasting pretty soon.
Yeah, we've supported a lot of games in the past, and I personally head up our Rainbow Six Siege team. We so far have played up to 3 matches. We have a 4th match coming up this next week, and we have we're 2-1 right now, and we're in the Champions Division of the NECC League, which is the 2nd highest division. It's pretty exciting. We have a almost entirely new team with 1 recurring face from last season, so hopefully we'll get that on the broadcast here soon, and we'll get some Siege in for you.
Well, hopefully we will. I wish you and the team the best of luck in that regard. And that is going to do it for this match. We are going to be going into the next match, Boise State versus Nevada, really soon here, so you are going to want to stay tuned for that. But for now, I think we'll take a quick break in between these games and be back after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently covering Overwatch for you tonight. I'm still your host, Jacob Gemponer, joined by Brenner Bear Lab to call all of the action for you tonight. We have just finished watching, well, kind of the landslide to end all landslides for Boise State, getting the 3-0 victory over Louisville. So now we kind of switch gears into something a little more casual, as if that last match wasn't casual enough. But right now it is football season, and in terms of athletics, I just personally, walking into the arena, saw a big bus outside with the Nevada logo on it. So Boise State is getting ready to play against Nevada in traditional sports, and so that means here at Boise State Esports, we always like to challenge the universities that we're going up against in games like football to try esports games as well. And we have Nevada playing us in Overwatch in what is to be a very kind of casual match, because we're starting on Kings Row. And I have never, as much as we've seen Kings Row, I don't never ever remember starting on Kings Row. So I have no idea what is even going to happen in this match.
Statue of Liberty play. I'm calling it now. They're just going to do it right off the bat and never leave the statue, because with how casual this will be, I'll be surprised if we see a Widow to try to counteract it. He's just going to have fun all day. The Bastion's never going to leave.
I have an interesting question, though, Brenner. If Boise State is kind of wanting to make this completely casual, is there any way that Boise State, if they're feeling extra confident, could, quote-unquote, handicap themselves?
Ooh, I don't know how to say this without being controversial, in a sense of bringing players that aren't necessarily on our esports roster. So in the past, we have seen players come in that have been notoriously hilarious to watch, is how I will put it very lightly. And so I would love to see them return. We saw a lot of them in our Collegiate Genji League that was casted back in April. So seeing the return of those players as just, hey, we're here to have a good time. We're not the best in the world, but we're here to have fun and play this quick play match, essentially. So I would love to see the return of them. Same as we've mentioned, if we're doing Kings Row, let's just continue doing maps that may be so loved by the community, like Paris. Let's bring back Paris. Can we have Paris, please?
Let's have that for tonight. We're going to make history right now, bringing back Paris in its triumphant return. That's actually, I think that's what we need to have. We were talking about the Genji League that we had. We have been talking about the Torb Hammer League. I think we need to have the Torb Hammer Paris League. That is the perfect trifecta, and I'm just going to leave it right there. But right now, we got to get into this match. Boise State versus Nevada is going to be the two esports teams going up against each other before the football teams hash it out. So right now, we are ready to jump into this match. But before we get into this match, before we get into every match, we are just going to talk about the general state of play with Kings. Oh, we might not instead, but just a reminder, we have Doc's keys to the game, and that's never to take a fair fight in Overwatch, and that means to take fights in unexpected places when the team is unprepared and take advantage of that tempo. Those are Doc's keys to the game, brought to you by Drop In Gaming. Drop In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. All right, let's jump into the match now and get into Kings Row. Boise State versus Nevada. We'll see how Nevada does against Boise State in a map that is well known by a lot of people. It looks like Nevada is going to be on the blue, defending first off here. And for right now, Boise State really isn't changing off of their traditional roles. We haven't gone full, we haven't gone full clown mode right yet. It's still kind of what we're used to. Plato and Kel on tanks, Frost and Gob on DPS, the Large Bagel and Nerdy on supports. We're ready to head into this. Here we go.
We are not seeing Nevada do the Statue of Liberty play, so we'll have to wait and see for the Boise State side when they defend. As it seems, Nevada so far hasn't lost a team member yet, so we're off to a good start. This might actually turn out to be a competitive match. Cross fingers, as Gob is now getting into the engage and already in the back line causing chaos. As we're seeing the double stun here, a Large Bagel able to take out that Rhine. Same with Kel taking out the Hanzos. So being down 2 members, Nevada is not looking too good, as already Boise State is going to just take the point.
Oh no, and this Doomfist, what is he doing? Where is he? He's all alone by himself. And it looks like there, Lucio's also taken out. Nevada put on a very nasty stagger thus far. He's going to have to regroup themselves. Now, in all fairness to Nevada, that first point is notoriously hard to hold for Kings Row. So we'll see if they can do a little bit better job heading into this next segment.
I already have to shout out someone on Nevada. He's staying true to his name. Zarya's Thighs is playing Zarya. I absolutely respect that man. Hats off to you, my friend, as you, I hope, only have time on Zarya and nobody else. So as we head into this next fight with the Amplification Matrix going down, we're going to see Plato get a double elimination. Zarya's Thighs going down. You hate to see it as Gob gets a double elimination onto the other two members of Nevada. Gems face palming right now as I bring up Zarya's Thighs. Absolutely my player of the game right now, calling it now. Even if Boise State clean sweeps this, he's my winner.
Well, Boise State is certainly looking like the winner right now, is going right to this final checkpoint, just full speed ahead. All three members to maximum, push that payload forward at the fastest speed that it can go. Frost is going to bring out this Deadeye. Is going to pick up one. Yes, he does. He takes out Cookie there. And a Shatter is going to at least find its way onto Zarya, though Grant is fighting back, taking out Plato. Look at that boop onto Nerdy Bird as well. But Gob seems like, with a triple, it just seems like whenever Boise State might be picked off one or the other, one of the DPSs from Boise State just comes back in and completely wipes the other team.
Yeah, Gob is definitely the scariest win on this Doomfist. We have yet to see him ever be truly contested, even up against the pro teams we're supposed to be up against in our leagues. No one has been able to have a strong answer for Gob on this Doomfist. We don't even see Somber picks to try to counter him. As we see Grant swap over to this Widow. And this Hanzo having the arrow as the grab comes out. Now we just need the Dragon Strike. Here it comes, able to pick up three members of Boise State. So Nevada does have the team play they need to pull this out. But as we mentioned, even though Boise State loses multiple members, they are able to pull it back and win those 1v1s. As it looks like they're going to just push it right in without a single member of Nevada able to even touch the card. So round one goes over to Boise State. Nevada's going to have a tough time even trying to cap this first point.
Yeah, wow, 5 minutes, 3 seconds. Boise State didn't lose one fight that round, did they?
No, they came close to it. They lost 3 members in a great combo by Nevada with that Grav, Shatter, and Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike just a hair late on it, but they got it off nonetheless. So Nevada had potential. We saw it. They pulled it off at that last moment. They never took over the cart or even contested it for longer than 10 seconds at best. So now going into the Boise State defense, give me Statue. I want no, wrong statue. Statue, please. Gob will never get off this Doomfist. He's too good. He's just gonna flex on him and have a good time in the back line, punching in people's faces.
All right, we'll see how Nevada can do right here. Oh man, this
I hope they at least get one tick.
Yes.
I want that much.
Well, they do have, if there's one point in which you kind of want to at least start out some sort of positive momentum, you get so many attempts here on Kings Row that at least one of these charges I would expect them to at least get through. We'll have to see is Grant, you're going to want to watch out for him on this Widowmaker, trying to get some sort of pick early on. We'll see if he can do that. Boise State seems pretty cognizant of that, though. Knowing not to get into too many bad sidelines with this Widow. Grant, I don't know if he's going to stick on it. Boise State might swap off. Gob just going right into the bath from Nevada. Plato very low on health, though. Big ol' Cookie taken out by Gob, just shattering that Cookie with the punch from the Doomfist. Large Bagel also taking out Reaper there. So Nevada wisely is at least going to, this at least an improvement from what we saw last time. At least they're regrouping and waiting to push in as a team for the next one. But that is if Boise State doesn't get too carried away, because last time they were just content to push up to the spawn and stagger out the other team. So we'll see if that happens here.
Yeah, and I believe that was a 5-man knockup for Plato on this Wrecking Ball, who's just kind of having a field day along with Gob just going back and forth, trying to disrupt that target orientation that Nevada might have of call the target, go after that person of a traditional dive comp we might have. We see that from a lot of teams of target recognition, but they're just going to have a field day right now as it's kind of just been an all-out brawl. This is quick play. We said it was going to be, and this is definitely it, of just constant fighting rather than solid pushes for consistent teams, and it's just been a field day for Gob on this Doomfist right now.
Lucio just barely managing to escape. I actually think that's a swap onto Lucio. Zofran is going to go onto the free instead. Now Nevada is going to have probably 2 ultimates for this next fight as their Death Blossom and Shatter are very quickly online. Right now, Large Bagel's just going to go right in the back line trying to take out this Brig, who does manage to punish Gob. I mean, hey, that's what Brig was made for, punishing flankers, so at least living up to her reputation there, but it is going to be taken out by Kel. So now it's even. Nevada at least managing to push onto the point as Zarya proves who's the better Zarya in that competition there. And Mochi also getting a boot onto Nerdy Bird as Plato is also taken out. There goes Nevada at least getting 1 tick, so that's one of our wishes fulfilled. Goblin's just gonna go right in. Okay, Gob, we've saying you've been great, but don't throw too much, you know, don't get too careless here. Is Plato just gonna try to take this point all by himself? He's gonna try to put the minefield on it with some help by a Large Bagel. Can they do this? They have managed to push Nevada off the point slightly. Now they are back on the point. It's not going to work out as Frost is taken back out. Boise State just getting a little bit too careless here. Nevada is like a team that's saying, hey, it's not going to be like the last match. We are not going to be pushed around as much as a team here. Respect us a bit here.
Yeah, we saw their own Doomfist actually kind of pop off just a little bit, able to get a double along with a couple of assists. So their own Doomfist showing his own dominating force. And again, I gotta give love to Zarya's thighs. She's living up to her name and proving that she is a Zarya main. Pure love to you. Just love you, Zarya's thighs. You're fantastic. Just doing your best. So this Brawl Cup has been paying off for Nevada so far as they've actually kind of won that team fight as we're seeing that 2-man grab make it 3. And the 3-man Deadeye from O. Grant. Nevada is here to play.
Wow!
You'd think this would be a league match.
That was a that was a great. We're gonna play the game here now. I see where this is going. We're gonna play the game of how many different other games can bring a reference before the night is up. We'll keep score and tally of that.
This is not intentional, I swear.
Well, right now Zarya is going to be taken out by Frost, who's just hammering damage onto Nevada. As Gob also takes out Brig there. Go Cookie also shattered by Frost. Look at this Doomfist, though, like you were saying, Brenner, popping off for Nevada, getting a double and keeping Nevada in the fight right before that first checkpoint. That is going to get some time to regroup here and has a good chance, I think, of at least getting to the checkpoint.
I would love to see Nevada get to that checkpoint just to prove that they're not only good in traditional sports, they do have the esports potential to maybe even if they grow and put the time into it, that they could be a formidable team against Boise State, as they have won a team fight against us, unlike the prior match against Louisville. And this Brig has been able to take out Gob as well, and a great grab from the side of Boise State, able to get their own 2-piece Deadeye.
Anything you can do.
But they didn't do it better because they got a 3-man, so Nevada still has that up against Boise, against their main roles right now, no less. And this Brig on Nevada has been doing God's work as he gets taken out, no less. Frost getting a 2-piece himself with that amplification matrix up. But you gotta keep an eye on both Zarya and the Brig, and even Autumn on that Doomfist, who have been doing quite well, as we're gonna see the swap from McCree over to Reaper. Going true Brawl comp right now, as it's been paying off for him.
Yeah, we'll see how that can work out for Nevada here. I gotta say, that was very barely their Doomfist getting away there. Some great play by Zarya there from Nevada, putting that bubble onto him, allowing him to survive to fight another day. Right now, Plato is just gonna meet the Reaper, who races away from that shatter.
Play
still
the game.
going to get pinned, but still, I love that dodging. That is great to see there. Grant is going to be taken out by a large bagel, but look at Zarya here being the elimination onto Frost. Boise State is going to find themselves 2 up in the overall engagement. Scob takes out Big Old Cookie, stopping Nevada once again. Now, if they're disciplined enough and don't trickle in here, they have enough for at least one more team fight.
Yeah, and I really hope Nevada actually wins this against Boise State. I know that's kind of like cursed to go against your own school, but I want to see them succeed because they have done so well up until this point. As we see a large bagel take out Autumn in a 1v1 essentially, along with Plato in the backline. Reinhardt 1v1ing right now. That's not what you want to see. You want to get to point and contest the best you can. As both the Lucio and Wrecking Ball make it, we're going to see the solo elimination from Frost with that Deadeye onto Zarya's thighs, who finally swapped off onto the Wrecking Ball. The grab comes out and is able to get 2 members, with Frost able to pick up 1 from that grab, but 3 members of Nevada are hopefully going to be able to hold this out, as Kel gets the self-elimination, as Zarya just right-clicking on the ground is not what you want to see, as Boise State throws down the sound barrier as well as the amplification matrix. The shatter comes out from the side of Nevada, but lands on no members, as Kel's now swapping over to the Wrecking Ball. It is overtime right now, and Nevada is pushing for this checkpoint as Autumn gets an elimination on the Frost, and Zarya's thighs is able to take out Plato. Nevada is pulling out all the stops, as Gob is now held back on this Doomfist and contesting backline the best he can. Kel is stalling on this Wrecking Ball the best he can, and Nevada is pulling out all the stops and eliminates him, and is hopefully going to get the checkpoint here. Nevada, I'm so proud of you.
Well, okay, let's drive this to overtime at least. They're going to have, well, they can't really afford to swap off this payload. Speaking of swaps, we do see Kel swapping over to the Diva. Now Nevada, their Reinhardt's just going to change, share some flame strikes. Huge shatter though, right onto Cookie, followed by the pin, is going to take him out with some help from a large bagel. Frost using that Deadeye is going to get 2 with it, just stopping Nevada right now as the Coalescence was used by their Zarya. It's not going to make that much of a difference as Boise State is stopping Nevada right in their tracks, forcing them to head back to start.
Nevada, you got this. You can do it. I want to see you succeed so much. They're not even let Zarya jump off the edge.
Wait,
as they take her out.
Did you see what I see there? Did you see Gob almost about to fall off the edge, used the Meteor Strike to get back onto solid ground?
Talk about a flex on your main, no less. Gob is definitely the Doomfist main that we've seen through this entire season, as Boise State's not going to try to let Nevada come out their spawn, as they are finally recognizing that Nevada has potential and that they've definitely put up multiple good fights, but since they've been tricking, they have not been able to bring it back together and have that team push that they've been successful
look
with.
At that though.
As Grant all by himself is on the cart, as Nevada's regrouping right now. Nevada's pulling this together. They're contesting as they lose 2 more members. Nevada, you got this. I'm on your side as they get a 3-man elimination for Kel. Things aren't looking good.
They're going to use that Deadeye as a little bit of zoning to end this before it heads on into overtime. Boise State still winning that 3-2. I got to hand it to Nevada when it looked like it really wouldn't work out for them. They managed to find ways to fight back. Well, one of the great sponsors of Boise State Esports is the Idaho Army National Guard. They are the ones who bring you the top 5 plays of the game at the end, and they invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Okay, so we're having this completely new series of map choices, starting out on Kings Row, which is novel in and of itself. And so there's anyone's guess to what is being chosen next.
Blizzard World.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw it to the wind. We're going Blizzard World.
Hybrid? Everything's hybrid.
Just only hybrid. Because why not? I mean, it gives you the most variety. You get the control point and you get the card. The best of what Overwatch has to offer completely. Unless we're just going to go completely weird and go like capture the flag or something. It would be great.
You know, there was that new free-for-all map that was just released. So
I mean,
let's show it off.
Why not? It would be great. Get some Overwatch showing of, hey, they're still updating the game, so here's this new free-for-all map, and play it with 12 players, which might be a lot for a free-for-all, no less.
Well, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves right now. Boise State getting the first victory against Nevada is 1-0 in this series. We'll see how Nevada fights back right after this break, so please stay tuned.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently seeing the Broncos go up against the Wolfpack in a precursor to the football game that's going to take place in a couple of days. We are currently watching Overwatch, and what is turning out to be a very interesting match is we are just abandoning all the rules of map order and are just going in terms of what we feel like. We started out on Kings Row. Boise State won that one. I'm still your host, Jacob Jim Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlat to call all the action for you. And Brenner, supposedly the Wolfpack gets the next choice here. So overall, they've shown that they have some staying power against Boise State. They have managed to at least make a pretty good match out of it on Kings Row. If Boise State hadn't just completely gotten to the third point with 5 minutes left on the clock, that probably would have been a lot more of an exciting match. But overall, based on what you've seen from Nevada, what do you think map would really kind of suit their play style?
Well, it definitely seems that they're better on attack. Not even so much pushing the cart, but just attack in general. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like Assault where they would want to attack first and try to get that snowball momentum going, or something maybe a bit longer drawn out that takes Boise State more time to kind of group up, as Nevada has won some consistent 1v1s in the past. So I would be really happy to see something like Havana that's a really long map, which would allow Nevada to regroup a lot more and win some more team fights, as unlike Louisville, they've won team fights against Boise State, and I'm rooting for them, so I want to see them succeed.
Again. All right, well, we'll see. Like you said, Brenner, you know, this is one of those maps we were talking about in Louisville. You either hold them at the point or it's knock down, drag them out. And I think Nevada can at least get over that first hurdle there. They showed that they can do it on Kings Row and get a bit of momentum. So I am hoping this goes to the third and final point. On both attack and defense for both teams. One other thing I have to say for Nevada is, one thing I've noticed for Boise State is when they get overconfident, they love doing those flanks. You know, they just completely go into the back line, try to do these cheeky plays, whether it's Plato on the Wrecking Ball, Gob certainly with the Doomfist, even a large bagel on Lucio. They just love going into the back line. So maybe in Nevada, if you're noticing that from Boise State, maybe you can really start to alter your comp to really kind of punish Boise State, who loves to just kind of go dive when they're dominating.
Yeah, and we saw great evidence on that on Kings Row. They stuck with their brawl comp, and that Brig paid off in dividends. She was constantly stunning Gob on that Doomfist and eliminating him. So Boise State losing essentially one of their star players and able to then push forward, being down even that one DPS can make all the difference, and they capitalized on it. We saw the three-man Deadeye with the grab, even prioritizing the lamp or the Baptiste's immortality field so that he could get the damage in and get the elimination. So Nevada has the team play and the what's the word? Cohesion for it. There you go.
Well, especially since it's been Boise State's DPSs that have really been the ones to kind of turn matches around. If Nevada gets a few picks, or any other team just in general onto Boise State's been the team where, hey, Gob's going to come in with his Doomfist and get a triple and turn it around. But if you're able to take him out with some of those heroes that really punish those divey compositions, then I think Nevada has the puzzle pieces that they need to make this a very competitive match. But let's get into Junkertown right now and see how this is going to turn out. This is Boise State Broncos versus Nevada Wolfpack in the precursor to the football game in a few days. So let's see how it goes. Boise State and Nevada. Boise State looks like they're going to be attacking first here.
Yeah, so this is going to be quite interesting to see how Nevada holds up here as they're bringing back the Sig on Orisa on defense. It seems that they're taking some key points from Louisville here with this team comp. Same with the Widow and McCree, and it seems Boise State is going to change things up as well and not bring a sniper on attack, but go for the Soldier and Genji. Definitely, as you mentioned, going for that back line.
And they are swapping up their roles because Bagel's on tank.
Yeah, Bagel's on tank, Plato's on that Zen, and gets stunned right away from that Sig rock. So at least he's got his aim down as they're going right in for point.
Look
and a large Bagel's getting so low.
Where is he? Look, Bagel, you're not on Lucio, okay? You can't ride walls with Rhine, okay? They're like two diametrically opposed.
First blood goes to Nevada, though. That's a great thing to see, as we're going to see Zarya Thighs drop down solo, and Kel's already swapping over to that Tracer now. Oh, but Boise State is pushing the cart the best they can. It seems like Nevada's just going to try to hold the high ground and not let Boise State pass through, as Boise State, a large Bagel, going to be able to take out that McCree, but he's going to get res, and a great hook from Gob on this Roadhog onto the Baptiste, taking him out. So we're going to see the McCree able to take out Nerdy on that Ana, but then two more go to the side of Boise State, make that four more, with this Widow able to pick off Plato on the Zen. So Nevada showing some highlights here, but they got to pull it together if they want to able to stop this cart. They might have one more chance if they speed it up and are able to take out Gob on this Roadhog, falling very low as well.
Gob already in just one team fight has his ultimate all charged up. Frost going very low on health. It's going to be the Transcendence is used by Plato to help keep Boise State alive, as well as High Noon being brought out by Nevada. Isn't going to pick up anyone, but he does manage to take out Gob and Plato as well. With that key player taken out from Boise State, as well as a res on from Nevada. They are going to hold Boise State here, but I don't know if they see, do they actually see Frost behind them? I don't think they do.
Yeah, they're definitely focusing on above the sign, as also Kel has just been hanging out behind. Gonna try to go in and take out that Mercy, but at least she's sticking close to her tanks, as she should, as the refill comes in and Kel gets all of his health back as he drops down to 9 HP, but is able to maintain. And now a great shatter coming out from a large Bagel, even with the Bongo deployed, is going to be able to eliminate him. Nevada held them out the best they could, as we're seeing multiple trades come out from the DPSs of Nevada.
Well, it is definitely an improvement because Boise State didn't lose any team fights on Kings Row here. So at least toting them for a few times here from Nevada, draining off some of that time from Boise State might help them mentally when it comes time for them to attack. So we'll see how that works out. See Frost here already charging up that tactical visor. Zarya here is also going to have that gravitic flux available. So here we see Boise State. And like in this section here, it's usually not too competitive, I understand. Correct, Brennan?
Yeah, usually we see, as Boise State's doing right now, pushing up into those spawn doors, essentially not letting them get through, as we see, oh, Grant able to get an elimination for the side of Nevada as Frost finally pops that visor. Same with Nerdy throwing out the nano. And it looks like Frost is going to be able to pick up one. Same with Kel using that pulse bomb onto the Baptiste. Gob able to take out Zarya's thighs on that Sig, not able to use the Gratific Flux. Same with the Amplification Matrix not coming out. So Nevada has these ults stored up for this upcoming team fight as Boise State gets the second checkpoint here. Now coming into the inside, this is definitely going to be a rough part because going around the center point, you want to hold it as you'll be able to dish out damage from above the whole time. Gratific Flux does finally come out as Nevada's own McCree is able to get a two-piece onto Kel and Plato. Nevada showing signs of life here as they're able to take out multiple members of Boise State, and Kel swapping over to the Soldier.
Right, Plato just having that Transcendence available. Frost is going to get the first pick, but it's answered right back. Aeritus on this 3, and Grant is rezzed. So Nevada is going to find themselves even again. Fresh off that res tactical visor is going to be used by Grant, as well as Deadeye used by Aeritus. Isn't going to necessarily pick up anybody. The large bagel is taken out there with both supports out for Nevada. It's going to be a lot harder to stay alive here for Aeritus. Gets taken out. Boise State just gradually pushing up with their payload.
Yeah, Nevada definitely held out their long. Definitely love to see them hold the high ground and definitely using that Amplification Matrix to all the value they can. Yes, they were taken out, and even Plato on the Zen went through with his Transcendence to say hi, and a great Immortality field, keeping a couple members alive for a little bit longer as the large bagels kind of having a field day in their backline once again. Boise State loves getting into the backline and causing some chaos. As once again, Frost now on the Doomfist, something we have not seen so far, having a fun time taking out Nevada's Baptiste as they're pushing right into their spawn, using the whole hog to take out that Soldier as well. For Nevada, Nevada, you did great, as Boise State wins the round.
2 minutes, 49 seconds.
Better than 5 minutes than on Kings Row. Yeah. So you gotta give Nevada for that. Absolutely fantastic for Nevada. Boise being as dominant as they always are. Nevada on the attack, this is where you thrive. You did great on Kings Row, you'll do great here.
We'll see exactly what comp they choose to use here as well. The Boise State is just going to continue trying to do their off rolls here. They seem pretty confident against the Wolfpack. 5 seconds, we'll see what everyone has loaded out with. Here we go. Yeah, it looks like Gob is going to still stick on that Roadhog. Seems to be Boise State's comfort pick when they just want to have fun. So that isn't going to change. Large Bagel also going on to that Wrecking Ball. Kind of something, you know, Large Bagel, we usually see him on Lucio. So if he's going to play tank as well, might as well choose a mobile tank.
Boise State also going double sniper. Last time we saw him on a Hanzo. This time they're bringing out Frost on the Ash.
Okay, I was just thinking this. I didn't think it would actually happen.
The Bastion?
Nevada, yeah, Pirate Ship.
Pirate Ship would be great. I would love to see kind of just the unique quick play meta fun
no,
of
they were teasing.
You jinxed it. You called it out. And they were just like, nah, we're not going to do it anymore. But they do have Roadhog as well. So this has been a Roadhog night for you, Joe.
Yeah, we've seen tons of insane hooks be brought out already. Look at that Large Bagel just trying to flank them. Is just gonna just say hi to them, not be able to get too much out of that, as Zarya is able to take out Plato there. The res onto Aeritus there brings Nevada back up to full strength. They're doing pretty well in pushing the payload forward thus far, is able to take out Gob as well. They are one up. Frost is just going to wait to try to pepper some damage down with this Ash. But Big Ol' Cookie being great with that huge rectangle, stopping Boise State from taking members of the Wolfpack out. Grant with a double there, bringing out Kel and a large bagel. Frost also eliminated by Grant, so 3 taken out by him. It might not be a Bastion, but still, Grant's having a great time on this Soldier.
Yeah, having a Pocket Mercy does Soldier 76 wonders, no less, as we're seeing the evidence here, able to take out Nerdy on that Ana as well. Seems Boise State is definitely playing a little bit more lax here and definitely holding further back, allowing Nevada to get the first checkpoint.
Yeah, they got to that faster than Boise State did. They're ahead of their pace.
Whether it's intentional or not, Boise State definitely needs to bring it together here as they're getting underneath. And O'Grant gets another elimination onto Plato with this Pocket Mercy. He's kind of been a threat to be reckoned with so far, as he hasn't really been answered. Popping out the Tac Visor, able to take out Frost and a large bagel, with Eridus winning the Widowmaker 1v1 against Kel.
Well,
you okay there, Boise? What's happening?
Yeah, I know. This is... Oh, and Gob using the whole hog gets taken out immediately by O'Grant. No one can stop this Soldier right now. As
even a Mercy kill comes out for Minify against Nerdy. And gets the res off from Nerdy's one elimination.
Wow. Well, the Wolfpack is definitely charging forward at full force here. Valkyrie and Whole Hog are used by Nevada. Kel taken out by Eridus. Gets stunned, a large bagel. He can't even push through the doorway there. And look at all the time Nevada is going to have. 5 minutes, 45 seconds as they head into this third checkpoint. I think we can see them outmatch Boise State's momentum here.
Yeah, Nevada, as I mentioned, this is their attack. They have been doing phenomenal. And even when Boise State has kind of regrouped, they have been losing 1v1s. And even when they win, Mini is right there to go for the res and even gets an elimination. Like, Nevada's pulling it together. Eridus has been nailing these Widow shots as well. So Kel on this Tracer wasn't able to make the difference. Frost on the Doom hasn't been able to make the difference. Plato popping Transcendence to keep his teammates alive as Gob finally wins the 1v1 against Aria on the Roadhog, as Frost now is able to take out O'Grant, but Mini comes back with the res and gets Zarya back up.
Yeah, I gotta say, Mintify has been doing such a great job on this Mercy. So dependable with those reses. Right now, Nevada is having a little bit of a hard time pushing past these initial doorways. They have been able to store up a few. Now, Mintify, this is what we were talking about earlier with going on to that brig, being able to stop some of the more divey heroes that Boise State likes to run. We see the Shadow was brought out by a large bagel, as well as Nerdy Bird using that Nano. And Mintify and Big Ol' Cookie are taken out. So Nevada is going to have to wait just a little bit longer before they can try to push forward.
Yeah, it may not have been a big play for either side, but Boise State used their Shatter, didn't get anybody. Nevada used their Shatter and got 2 members. They weren't able to capitalize on it, but they were able to land it. But now they're being stuck in their spawn as Boise State's finally bringing them back together, and Frost going straight for that back lane, taking out O'Grant, having that target recognition, able to take him out as Zarya goes in with the whole hog and is able to take out a large bagel. Frost going right onto Eridus, now on the McCree, and takes him out. Gob's able to take out Minify on the brig. Hopefully we see this brig come alive and able to put a stop to Frost on this Doom, as Boise State loves their Doomfist.
I mean, Frost was stunned for a short time there, so Nevada definitely has their strategy. They are going to use that tactical visor. Taken out by Frost before it can get any sort of mileage. Application Matrix also thrown down by Mochi, unable to pick up. Look at Plato on the Zen here, and a punch to the face onto Mintify. Plato has himself a triple on the Zen. Even in support, he is not content to be pushed into the background. Plato doing a great job, and a great anti-nade from Nerdy onto O'Grant as well. And all of this momentum from the Wolfpack is just being led away by the Broncos.
Broncos brought it together. They're like, all right, you got the second checkpoint. It's time to get serious, and this has definitely been the dominating force that we have watched all season as a team wipe comes out for Boise State against poor Nevada. Nevada, get it together. You were doing so well up until this point. And once you watch your team come, it just fell apart. But the team swap was a good idea, and a great sleep coming out to Gob as he's whole hogging no less and gets taken out. Nevada's able to get 2 eliminations, make that 3 onto Boise State, as it is now a 3v3 here. But Nevada has the advantage as they're right next to the spawn. Boise State getting aggressive. Never count them out, even when they are down the team members, as Kel is able to eliminate Big Old Cookie all by himself.
She able to eliminate Nerdy Bird there. We see Kel taken out by O'Grand, opening for the Wolfpack here. They just need to get on point. See, Boise State had them pushed up so far that even with a few of those picks, Nevada wasn't able to get onto the payload to turn that into any sort of momentum. Plato buying more time for the Broncos with that Transcendence. Mintify now using the rally. Large Bagel taken out by Zarya. Aridis also picking up Plato there. Nevada's going to find themselves 1 up in this engagement. Frost still alive, though. You can't count him out. Gob going to miss with that hook, though. So Nevada is now pushing the payload yet again. Can they make it to this final point? They got to watch out for Gob here, though. He's looking for a sneaky hook here.
And Nevada does have both the Nano and the Shadow with High Noon right behind it. Same with the Self-Destruct. So they have the tools in their back pocket to use if they need it. But Boise State now also coming online with their very own Shatter Meteor. And the Pulse Bomb comes out from Kel, but does not pick anybody off, as Zarya is very low and loses her mech. The Nano comes out from Nerdy. Same with the Meteor from Frost and the Shatter from a Large Bagel, but is not able to get any value as Nevada pulls back just in time, is able to keep multiple members alive as the Diva just now falls to Frost. And a great 3-man Shatter along with the Nano from Nevada. They're pulling it together here, pulling every shred of skill that they can, but looks like it's gonna come down to the remaining members of Boise State, as now they have the spawn advantage here, getting so close to the end point. Plato into the 1v1 with the McCree and ends up losing it as well. Nevada, you can do this!
Oh, but Gob and Large Bagel aren't going to make it easy for them. They've taken out Zarya and Aridis there. Big Ol' Cookie is able to take out a Large Bagel. Are they even going to have enough time? They just have 13 seconds left. They got to... Oh, they're going to try to Boise State, at least with Gob bringing out that Wrecking Ball. He's going to try to start it out. I don't know if they even have enough time. Okay, they do manage to get it to the point. Red is immediately hit with the Sleep Dart, but Mintify is able with that Lucio to buy a little bit of time, but Frost takes them out. Pulse Bomb is going to take out Mochi as well. There comes the Deadeye out. Isn't going to be doing anything. Only their Reinhardt can try to keep this going. But at this point, they just trickled in one at a time. More than enough for Boise State to take them out.
Yeah, we saw at that last second, the Ana swapped over to the Moira. You needed to do that before you did that push, but Nevada got to 98 meters to Boise's 101. Nevada has put up a fight better than most teams in the leagues we have faced this season. Nevada, hats off to you.
Well, I got to say, I like Nevada. You can tell that they're kind of getting a read for Boise State. And if you want to be able to kind of have counterplay like that and be able to do those counter picks, then you're going to want to sign up with Esports Tower. Esports Tower can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your overall team ability. They're matching you up with other players. You can go to esportstower.com for more information about that. It's the fastest way to rank up. So now, Boise State, okay, what I was going to say is Nevada, I love their ability, though, to be able to kind of read Boise State and pick, because you've got the Brig, you've got the Ana with her Sleep Dart, you've got McCree with his Flashbang. They're just picking basically every single hero that can really just kind of stop Gob on the Doomfist or any sort of these divey heroes. They're just going complete kind of anti-dive, CC control. We're going to stun you for trying to get into our backline.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a Sombra yet. I would assume just because the players on the side of Nevada aren't comfortable playing her, as she is a pretty much off-meta pick consistently, not really in a lot of team comps. We see Boise State run her occasionally, and that's the most we see her. We saw on Lijiang Tower, but that was pretty much it. So I'd love to see Nevada pull out the Sombra just for full destroy Doomfist, as it seems kind of been their play, and it's been working. We even saw Erebus on the Widow win multiple 1v1s and get a lot of picks. So Nevada has those key components to win a matchup against Boise State.
Well, we'll see if they can get a win against the Broncos. We're going to take a quick break and then be back with Game 3 of this matchup against the Wolfpack. We'll see if the Broncos can win this right after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently covering a for-fun match for the Broncos against the Nevada Wolfpack. And the Nevada Wolfpack, I gotta say, is doing so much better than a lot of the other teams that they've seen. They are making such a valiant effort, and maybe on this third map, they can be able to pull out a victory. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And it seems a little weird, Brenner, but we haven't seen a control match yet, which seems a little bit surreal because it seems no matter what tournament it is, we always start out with control, and we're not tonight. We have done hybrid and escort, which means it's either going to be assault or control for the third match.
Yeah, so either way, we're going to be playing around cap the point. So if we win assault, I would hope we see Nevada be very aggressive on the attack because that's where they have been thriving. Whereas on the defense, they put up a fight, but they inevitably do get rolled by Boise State's just general being the top dog in the current league that we have been playing in. So I hope we see even control just because it's a lot more back and forth rather than just the assault of defense, they'll lose, attack, they'll do a lot better. So I definitely hope we see control no matter what.
Well, I do love the strategy that I'm seeing from Nevada, which I am dubbing the get off my lawn strategy. It's basically every single hero that could try to punish a Doom. You know, we've got the Brig, we've got the Ana, we've got McCree. We could bring out some, but just go full. If you try to any get us near us, we'll hit you with every single stun that we have all at the same time and send you back to start us. We are going to be going on to Nepal. This was actually the control map that we saw last Tuesday Boise State use, so they aren't too alien to this map. But the one thing that I'm a little nervous at is that Nepal and Sancton, there's a lot of room for environmentals, which Boise State is awfully fond of.
I mean, maybe if Boise State goes full environmental eliminations, then that would allow Nevada to just go full brawl comp, go straight to the point, and hopefully maybe deny that a little bit. That would be fantastic. And maybe go something like an Orisa to deny those boops, so she just goes all gold. Like, Nevada has those keys in the pocket. We've seen them do it in the past. They haven't had to deal with environmental kills. So hopefully that is not the fault that just breaks them apart here in this third and hopefully not final match.
Well, we will see if Boise State can close this out. I don't know necessarily how well it's going to bode for the football team necessarily, because well, I won't even get into that right now. But maybe we need to spread that sort of performance over to the esports side as well, and just have them miss a few crucial kicks, or just have them pass when they're absolutely not supposed to pass and should just run over the 1 yard over the first down line. I am not bitter at all. Don't accuse me of that. But right now, Broncos certainly have nothing to be bitter about, going up against the Wolfpack. And here we go. We were talking about this, the opportunity for those environmental. Look at,
two new faces.
Wait, no. Look who's on Boise State.
Two new faces. We got Maxwell and Professors here.
Oh, no, Doc's.
Good, G-League's back, baby. Let's go. These are the players we want to see in this quick match of just nothing but pure fun, as Boise State's going straight for point. I just wish we saw Zarya Styles actually on Zarya, but the Roadhog is fantastic for this map, for those environmental kills. Boise State's going right into the members of Nevada, but a great sleep, as we've mentioned multiple times, from Moki, and a double elimination for Erebus, make that a triple. Nevada, you almost team-wiped Boise State. Please!
And they hit Plato with the sleep dart. Oh, he's so low on health, he just manages to get away. But Nevada is the first one to take that point, and they are rolling. They're just going to try to make space for themselves. I don't necessarily see the fight in that doorway, but I imagine it's a very exciting fight, as both Roadhogs have managed to take out two members, a member of the opposing team. See Zarya and Plato. Got to watch out for that hook, though, and respect it there. So he doesn't want to definitely get hooked there. The Plato's just going right into Nevada. Gets stunned. There's the hook with the anti-nade, and doesn't manage to escape there. Mintify is going to take him out, as well as O'Grant taking out Kel as well. Nevada is holding Boise State right here, and what is a great performance.
Absolutely. I'm already so proud of Nevada. They won the first team fight. They took the point. They're having that target recognition, even as... Oh, no!
Nasty!
The large Bengal gets the first environmental kill with a great hook onto a nanoed tac visor soldier Erebus.
Gotta hurt.
Yeah, hate to see it, but another great sleep dart from the side of Boise State onto O'Grant on that Tracer this time around. So Nevada still holds the point, no less. Boise State has not touched the point for how many members of Nevada they have taken out. I don't know if that was intentional to draw this game out, so we have a best 2 of 3 for control, as we're seeing multiple eliminations go over to the side of Boise State. But finally, we're going to see Big Ol' Cookie use those mines onto point, with multiple falling into the hole, as he was just barely too high up. But it looks like Boise State's finally going to get onto point with 3 members on it. And another hook environmental kill onto Big Ol' Cookie, the Wrecking Ball, no less, not even able to save himself. Professor even gets an elimination with the turret onto Mintify. Boise State takes the point.
Well, but the good news is for Nevada that they only need to really win one here. Then they take back the point. They have it. They're going to get stunned and hooked by that hog there. Nerdy is going to survive. Still has plenty of a health pool on that Zarya, especially with Lucio being used by Plato. Boise State is going to have even more survivability, and the photon barrier goes up by Professor. Maxwell is going to take out Big Old Cookie. Plato with that anti-nade is going to live to fight another day. He is so all over the place with this Lucio. Look at Kel there taken out by Eridus, which really has been really good on this McCree. Has been a consistent player, kind of an anchor for Nevada, if you will.
Yeah, Nevada's definitely had some star players in their lineup so far. Both DPSs performing fantastically. Zarya's Thighs, even though they just got eliminated, has been fantastic. Big Old Cookie being able to disrupt the backline. Kind of classic for Boise State as the grab comes out from Nerdy and doesn't land on a single member. Now Maxwell's going to throw out the Nano as we see a boop elimination from Plato onto Mintify, with Kel taking out a Big Old Cookie right behind him. Boise State having that target recognition is finally beginning to win a lot of these 1v1s, as Nevada simply just needs to regroup and have a team push, because that is where they thrive on the attack.
And they are definitely going to have the ult advantage too. They're going to have the nano boost and the sound barrier. And also the Deadeye is probably going to be online for them as well. But Kel has this tack visor, but maybe just do Boise State against them, just drag him into the pit and forget about that tack visor, but it's going to take out Grand, as well as a boof onto Big Old Cookie is going to push him off the edge. The only thing from Nevada was one pick onto Professor, and now Zarya Size is going to be taken out by the whole hog. Look at that Deadeye, though, is going to be going on to Large Bagel. But can they get at least one person onto the point? It doesn't look like it. That is going to do it for the Broncos. But again, great effort by the Wolfpack.
Hats off to Nevada for even making it this far against Boise State. Actually, they've made more progress than most other professional college teams that we've gone up against. So nothing but praise to Nevada for me right now, as they've just done phenomenally as kind of just a fun game so far. We even saw a Professor on the Hanzo for a little bit there. Just nothing but pure fun for these two teams right now.
In case you can't recognize by the way we're talking, you are in fact watching the Boise State broadcast. We just want to see some competitive games, and we're very happy for Nevada for providing us a lot of interest in this match. And speaking about having fun, there's Nerdy swapping on to the Diva, Nerdy's favorite hero by far. So great to see Nerdy Bird get a chance to play Diva once again. We'll see if they can get play of the game, something that seemed to elude them a lot when they played Diva in the past. But here we go. Plato is going to take out two members of Ograd, actually take out both DPSs as well as Nerdy, going right onto Mintify. Mochi also taken out. Only the tanks are left, and they're both going to get taken out there by Nevada. All 6 members sent back to start. Boise State taking the first point.
Plato got a triple there. Sir, you were playing Lucio, not DPS. Are you okay? I have questions about this.
He's not going to let a technicality like that stop him.
Especially of a Lucio, no less, as he has definitely had more eliminations than most in quick play, of all things, as he won't be able to get any boops here, hopefully, all the way on the far side. As we saw Nevada go for the top right push, Kel going right into the backline of Ogrand, all by himself in the middle of his spawn area. A Large Bagel able to get a double elimination both onto Zarya and the Moira, and then Maxwell able to pick up Big Old Cookie. Nevada just going for the reset this time around. Boise State does have the Primal Rage along with the Pulse Bomb, even going towards their spawn.
Oh no.
How dirty are you gonna do this to him, Boise State? You gotta let him at least leave the ship. As we see Erebus finally get an elimination onto Plato, but Maxwell immediately gets one onto Ogrand, evening it out. Nevada doesn't even have an ult yet.
And Boise State is just pinching them in from both sides here, no matter what doorway they go out. Whether they're going forward or backwards, Boise State is going to meet them at that doorway as Large Bagel uses his Primal Rage. Mochi brings out the Coalescence in response. The beat is used by the Lucio. Kel throws out the Pulse Bomb, is able to take out Mochi. Boise State uses their own Diva Bomb and Coalescence. The Coalescence taking out Grand. Boise State going past 70% now. Professor are using that Photon Barrier. Boise State holding Nevada very forcefully. And gonna go past 80%, meaning Nevada only has really one more opportunity to take this point.
Boise State, you are playing with your food. Maxwell just got a triple with Moira on the Coalescence. We saw a large bagel activate Primal Rage, go all in on Zarya, knock her off the ground, and knock her all the way back up. And we're going to see Maxwell practically standing in spawn, just holding right, but not even doing his healer's job. And Erebus finally takes out large bagel, and he even Maxwell takes out Grant with Big Old Cookie finally demeching Nerdy as Mintify takes out Professor and Zarya's Thighs taking out Plato. Nevada showing life here as they're contesting the point the best they can, and it looks like they finally might take the point here with Kel now eliminating Erebus as a trade-off between the two. With Big Old Cookie taking out Maxwell, Nevada takes it. Nevada, you're doing better than so many other quote-unquote pro college teams.
Wow.
You're fantastic. You can do this.
Well, we have two new biggest fans for Nevada right now.
100%.
Yeah. Grant is going to be taken out by Plato right there, and just seeing, you know, if this has been a quick play mentality night, then nothing captures the essence of quick play more than the supports actually having the goal in eliminations. That's how all my quick play games actually are now. So.
Yeah, and they're actually having a ton of trades here back and forth as Erebus is able to get a two-piece for himself with Nerdy finally taking him out. Maxwell once again with his Coalescence is being a very scary Moira, but getting constant eliminations and just holding right-click no less, with Professor finally getting an elimination with his turrets just placed down as Plato's going to activate the sound barrier to keep them alive, contesting point the best they can with the large bagel taking out Moki and Kel taking out Grant. It looks like Boise State's going to take this point and as well hold out in overtime, but Nevada's going full just trickle in and contest the best they can, and even gets the last second pull onto overtime to reset it, but they're gonna lose it with Mintify on that Lucio being the last one alive. Boise State wins it, but Nevada, oh Nevada, we love you so much for putting up a fight against Boise State, who has 3-0'd practically every team they've gone up against this semester.
Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast staff. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Well, Boise State winning that one 3-0 as well. Big surprise, and I am officially giving up at this point, Brenner. I'm officially, if Maxwell can stand in spawn as the Moira and just hold down right click and it actually works, and just if he's just going to be all by himself holding down right click to win, then I don't see what the point of casting this game anymore is. Okay, it's just I'm officially done. I'm announcing my retirement today because I can't call it any other way.
I mean, at this point, we're casting for Nevada because they did fantastically. I mean, genuinely, they've done better than a lot of college teams in the leagues that we have played against. They won team fights. They almost team wiped us, for crying out loud. Like, they did very well. Even with the subs and we were playing very relaxed, they did very well because they were trying their best. So nothing but praise to Nevada for showing that they, even if it wasn't their esports team, they could make one with that team. They did fantastically.
Yeah, I can only if they really applied themselves, I think we could see a top-tier team from them. So, not that they didn't already apply themselves, they did a great job. I'm just saying with more practice further on, I would really love to see more from the Wolfpacks in the future. But overall, do you have any predictions for the player of the game this match? I mean, it would probably have to be Gob on the Doomfist. I mean, when you're able to get the entire team to change their composition, to just have one goal, and that's to shut you down, I don't even care about winning team fights at this point. As long as we can take out Gob, we're happy. I think that's probably a player of the game earned.
I mean, we've definitely had that mentality in the past, so I would not be surprised if it was Gob, no matter what it was. Even when we role swapped and everything, he was just such a key player on his role. And then we have to acknowledge player of the game for Nevada, either definitely Erebus. I mean, he was such a key DPS. He got so many eliminations, whether on the Soldier or Widow or McCree. Hats off to you. You did fantastic. My personal is always Darius Thighs. Had the best name. No one can contest that. It's Darius Thighs. I mean, everyone loves that. And so Boise State, as much as you won, Nevada's the winner in my heart because they put up a fight. So as we're going to head over to the player of the game, it looks like it's going to be a large bagel, no less. Typically our main healer, but wnever he's giving a couple members to the main tank for a little bit longer, as a large bagel is kind of holding that in their back line once again, multiple shatters. So a large bagel, player of the game for this matchup.
Player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a good player makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. A large bagel is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. He finally got it. I don't know how many times we have given Bagel player of the game, but it finally worked out for him tonight. He needed to swap to playing tank, and he got player of the game.
Yeah, it's always the tanks or DPS that gets player of the game. So whenever you see a healer main get the player of the game, nothing's better than seeing that. You know, in the past, we've given it to Asu previously, and since he has been more or less subbed out with the current roster that we have, it's wonderful to see a large bagel get the spotlight every once in a while for our main support. And even though he was on tank this time, he still performed phenomenally for our Boise State team. So congrats to a large bagel.
Well, overall, do you have any other final thoughts for tonight?
Still have yet to see a better Deadeye from Boise State, as Nevada got a triple, but Boise only ever got doubles or singles. So get better on that Deadeye plays.
Yeah.
Calling you out, Boise. Come at me.
Come on. up your Deadeye game. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Boise State getting 2 3-0 victories against Louisville and Nevada. Of course, if we do have any top plays, those are going to be brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for watching. Great job to Boise State getting 2 victories, and good luck to the Broncos football team going up against the Wolfpack in a few days. See ya, good night, and stay safe.
Orientation that Nevada might have of call the target, go after that person of a traditional dive comp we might have. We see that from a lot of teams of target recognition, but they're just going to have a field day right now, as it's kind of just been an all-out brawl. This is quick play. We said it was going to be, and this is definitely it, of just constant fighting rather than solid pushes.
That it can go. Frost is going to bring out this Deadeye. Is going to pick up one. Yes, he does. He takes out Cookie there. And Shatter is going to at least find its way onto Zarya, though. Grant is fighting back, taking out Plato. Look at that boop onto Nerdy Bird as well. But Gob seems like with a triple. It just
maybe even if they grow and put the time into it, that they could be a formidable team against Boise State, as they have won a team fight against us, unlike the prior match against Louisville. And the Sprig has been able to take out Gob as well, and a great grab from the side of Boise State, able to get their own 2-piece Deadeye. Successful
look at that, though.
As Grant all by himself is on the cart, as Nevada's regrouping right now. Nevada's pulling us together. They're contesting as they lose 2 more members. Nevada, you got this. I'm on your side as they get a 3-man elimination for Kel. Things aren't looking good.
Well, Nevada is holding Boise State right here. What is a great performance.
Absolutely. I'm already so proud of Nevada. They won the first team fight. They took the point. They're having that target recognition. Even as